Hi everyone! Do you know how Family Constellation works? If you don't know and if you want to know more about it, stay with me until the end of this video and I will explain how Family Constellation works. So my name is Daniele Storti and I'm a Family Constellation facilitator. So let's start. So there are mainly two ways of conducting a family constellation session. One is through group dynamics. In a group dynamic, we have a client who is facing an issue in his or her life and the participants. These people, they do not need to know each other. They have never met each other before. They do not need to know anything about the client's life. What we use in a family constellation is quantum entanglements, where one element is connected to the other, no matter time and space. We also use Morphic Fields, which is a field of information discovered by a scientist called Rupert Sheldrake. If you want to know more about Morphic Fields, just Google it. You will find a lot of information in the internet. So these invited people will enter the Morphic field, which is a field of information, to represent the family members of the client, as well as his or her issue. And they will feel what is happening in the client's family system. They do not need to know anything. They could be the first time that they are participant. The only thing that they need is to let the feelings come out naturally. The feelings coming out will revealing information and helping us to understand what is happening behind that issue and what is behind of that problem, what is the problem's root, what the client does not know about. So I remember my first family constellation session. I was a client at that time, and I was looking at my mother's relationship. And the woman that I chose to be my mother told me at the end of the session that she had the same issue with her daughter. She also had an issue with her daughter relationship. In a group session, it is incredible how it acts in everyone who is participant at that time. It is an incredible experience that you need to live by yourself. So if you want to be a participant, it's easy to understand how family constellation works in a group session. So the other way that we look at a family constellations, that we conduct a family constellation session, is in one-on-one session. In that case, it is an individual session that I'm going to show you the tools that I used to conduct it and how it works. So in this case, we have here some objects that could represent subjective topics, such as life and death, or future and past, could represent a pain, a disease, or anything that could be subjective, right? We also use little dolls like these ones to represent the family members like we do in a group session, but here we use dolls. These ones could represent a woman, a man, and we also have the little ones, which represents the boys and girls. So I'm going to show you and give you an example how a family section could be conducted. Let's say we have a couple relationship and my client is the husband. I could ask him to position himself in the field, and because his problem is his wife relationship, I ask him to put also his wife. And the way that he position the objects here will give me information. If he puts them looking at each other like this, close to each other, far away from each other, or not looking at each other, will give me information to make a diagnosis about his relationship. I could also ask him to include his parents in this dynamic. And the way that he positioned his parents could also give me a deeper information. So we can also do a couple session. If we have both wife and husband, in this case, I will ask him, the husband, to build his relationship here, and also the wife to build her relationship in another field. Why? Because here in a family constellation session, it's not the way that the relationship is, but also it is about how we feel this relationship. And the wife could feel her relationship in a totally different way from her husband. So both group or individual session can work perfectly fine in person or online. As a facilitator, as a family constellations facilitator, my role is to understand if the family system is healthy or sick. When the system is sick, we treat them using the orders of love, which are belonging, hierarchy, and balance. Our bodies, our essence is connected with our origin families and our ancestors. Our mind is not. This is why our mind sometimes does not know anything about our profound connections. So this is why most of our decisions are based on our essence, and this is why we repeat the same behavior throughout generations and generations. So what I want to tell you that to look at this, we need to be brave, because sometimes it is something that it is causing us pain, or sometimes it's a trauma that we lived in our childhood. To relieve a pain, the only way to relieve a pain is to looking at this with love. And then we can start the healing process, and we can move our lives into the right directions. So thank you for watching me. You can also make a comment in this video, and I will be more than happy to answer you. Or you can also follow me in the social media to learn more about it. Thank you.